Hi everyone, today we're going to talk about the best build for Ereshan, her best teams, weapons, skill priority, and most importantly, how to play her to her full potential. I'll also explain how her skills work at the end. Let's start the video now. Ereshan is a powerful carry unit specializing in high damage, dark elemental attacks. However, she might be hindered by low vigor points, a long combo sequence, and the need to unlock her talents and potentials. She's a dark element DPS class with burst damage. First, let's talk about her skill upgrade priority. You should first focus on upgrading her passive skill, Withering Harvest. Upgrading her passive is important to increase the damage of Ereshan's Fated Strike 1 and 2, which are frequently used in her combo. Second priority should be her second skill, to increase the damage of Ereshan's Fated Strike 1 and 2, which are frequently used in her combo. This skill triggers Ereshan's passive ability and deals significant damage once upgraded. Third, you should upgrade her combo Shadow Blade. Her combo skill helps trigger her passive ability more quickly while also dealing damage to enemies. Fourth priority would be her ultimate, Bodement Shadow. It provides additional damage to multiple enemies over a wide area. The only reason it's the fourth priority is because it's going to take time to charge this up. In the meantime, you'll be using other skills a lot more. Next, you can upgrade her first skill, Spiral Slice. Upgrading this skill is unnecessary as you need to activate Fated Strike after using it anyway. Lastly, your basic attack, Annihilation Sickle. Not necessary to upgrade, it's better used for restoring her vigor during combat. In short, the most important skill to upgrade for Ereshan is her passive ability, Withering Harvest, which increases the damage of Fated Strike 1 and 2. You will mostly use these attacks to finish her combo. Meanwhile, other skills like her second skill, Unfathomable Area, and her combo skill Shadow Blade can also help deal additional damage to enemies. You can upgrade other skills as well, but make sure to prioritize Withering Harvest. Next up, let's talk about her best weapon choice. As I have mentioned before, the exclusive weapons for every character is going to be Thea, Best Fit. 5-star weapon arc of Broken Moon. Its base effect is enhances dark damage by 7.2%. Ereshan deals 30% increased damage to enemies marked with Phantom Mark. If the marked target dies while the mark is still active, it transfers to the nearby enemy with the highest health, and its duration continues. Your other options are 3-star Weapon Arc of Astrum and 4-star Weapon Arc of Astrum Enhanced. Next up, let's talk about our best teams, but before we begin, I'm trying to reach 500 subscribers. By the end of this month, it takes a lot of effort to make such videos, so I would really appreciate it if you just like and subscribe to the channel for more blackbeacon videos. Her first best team is Ereshan being the main DPS, while Zero provides support with her buffs, and Viola serves as a sub-DPS with good AoE damage and elemental anomaly. Since Ereshan excels at handling elite enemies, this team focuses on quickly eliminating weaker foes. This allows her to maximize her damage output against tougher enemies while removing minor threats. Ereshan will cast her first skill 3 times before switching to Zero to restore her vigor and receive an attack buff. After that, switch to Viola to set up her AoE attack to eliminate non-elite enemies, swap Ereshan back to complete her combo and let her handle tougher enemies. Once their ultimates are charged, you can cue them to unleash a short burst of high damage. If you have unlocked Zero's talent 2, her ultimate should go first to provide a party-wide 10% damage resistance buff. With various elemental alignments, this team can inflict 3 different elemental anomalies and trigger elemental overload. You can also use other characters like Ming Azi and Enki to assist Ereshan. I'll give you a brief overview of how to use them. Ming's second skill, Gleaming Light, will envelop Ereshan in a flaming cloak that damages nearby enemies and explodes after its duration. Enki's passive ability, Enki's First Law, helps eliminate weaker enemies and reduces their damage resistance. RZ works well with Ereshan through her passive Tang Art's skillful use, which reduces enemy damage resistance by 30% for 20 seconds. Second Ereshan team is a bit more free to play. In this team, Ereshan must cast her first skill 3 times to charge her second skill, then switch to 0 for an attack buff, followed by Hefe for her damage resistance buff and AoE attack. From there, Ereshan can complete her combo, capitalizing on buffs provided by Zero and Hefe. When all ultimates are charged, use Zero's first to grant additional damage resistance to the team through her talent 2. Since these characters have different elemental alignments, you can potentially inflict 3 elemental anomalies simultaneously and trigger elemental overload. Next, let's talk about Ereshan's strengths and weaknesses. Strengths: fairly mobile with her first skill. Great against bosses and elite enemies. Inflicts the Dark Elemental Anomaly. Corrosion, making enemies take extra damage equal to the damage your characters dealt during this state. Weaknesses: relies on unlocking talents and potentials. Low vigor. Requires you to switch characters or perform basic attacks to complete her combo. Long combo sequence. Ereshan is a powerful DPS character, specializing in taking down elite enemies and bosses, but is weighed down by a long combo sequence and a heavy reliance on upgrades to reach her true potential. She also has only 3 vigor points, requiring you to switch to another character to restore it or use basic attacks. Now let's talk about if you should dupe Ereshan. Dupe means her potential, which means getting more copies of her. Before we get in dupes, let me explain what Fated Strike means. It's her enhanced attacks. Dupe 1 increases Fated Strike damage by 15%. Dupe 2, when passive skill Withering Harvest, is activated by skill 2 Unfathomable Area. Fated Strike can be cast 2 more times. Dupe 3, unlocking this potential creates a shadow that attacks in sync with Ereshan's Fated Strike and Fated Strike. 2, dealing damage equal to 150% of attack. Dupe 4 increases her skill level by 2. Dupe 5 upgrades Ereshan's first skill by making it deal 150% more damage, plus a damage upgrade for the shadow that Ereshan gets in her Dupe 3. Dupe 6. The shadow created by her first skill, Fated Strike, will also generate 15 additional Phantom Shade points. With this, you only need to cast Fated Strike 3 times to charge her second skill. Fated Strike 2 also deals 20% more damage. Ereshan gets really good with dupes. Putting dupes in her definitely won't be a waste in my opinion. I am personally going to be trying to get her potential as high as possible, since I really like her and her fast-paced playstyle. It's very important to know what her skills do, since otherwise you'll just be mindlessly clicking on whatever skill that is available. Let's try to understand what her skills even do. First, her passive Withering Harvest. Casting. The skill 2 activates her passive while she's in this state. Use her skill 1 to cast Fated Strike to teleport to the target up to 4 times during this period. Hitting an enemy generates 35 Phantom Shade. Phantom Shade is basically your energy that you got from skill 1 and passive. Fated Strike is the enhanced attack generated by your passive. Second, her first skill Spiral Slice. She throws her scythe while it's mid-flight. Tap the first skill again to teleport where the scythe is. If there are enemies near scythe, she launches Fated Strike and gains 20 Phantom Shades, otherwise returns the consumed vigor. Third, her second skill, Unfathomable Area. It's available to use when Ereshan have 100 Phantom Shades. She consumes all the Phantom Shades to deal charged damage in a huge area and inflicting a phantom mark on the enemy with highest HP. The mark lasts for 10 seconds and deals 10% more damage to marked enemies. Fourth, her combo Shadow Blade. When her combo charge is ready, tap combo skill to immediately release skill 2. While Ereshan is in her burst mode, her Fated Strike, meaning enhanced attacks, are always on. I won't explain ultimate and basic attack, cozy, there's nothing to explain. Now I'm going to show you how to play her properly. When using Ereshan, the top priority is charging up her second skill, Unfathomable Area. Since her vigor is limited for completing her long combo sequence, it's better to switch to other characters mid-combo to provide buffs or set traps against enemies. Make sure to pair Ereshan with characters that have long buff or attack durations to maximize her combo sequence. First step, cast Ereshan's first skill, Spiral Slice, and its enhanced version, Fated Strike. 3 times. Ereshan's first skill has a basic and an enhanced version, with the enhanced version triggering after casting the basic one. Cast it 3 times to accumulate 60 Phantom Shade points. Unlocking her talent 1 generates an additional 15 points for each Fated Strike, first skill, that hits a single enemy, allowing you to use fewer Fated Strikes to accumulate Phantom Shade points. Second step, switch to a support character. Since her vigor will be exhausted after spamming her first skill, it's best to swap her with a character who can provide buffs, cast an AoE spell, or debuff enemies. Third step, cast her first skill, Spiral Slice and Fated Strike, 2 times. Once her vigor is restored, swap her back in and cast her first skill, both basic and enhanced versions, twice to generate an additional 40 Phantom Shade points. Fourth step, cast her second skill, Unfathomable Area. By accumulating 100 Shade points, you can finally cast her second skill, which deals damage over a wide area and marks the enemy with the highest HP. Ereshan will then deal an additional 10% damage to the marked enemy. Using this skill activates Ereshan's passive Withering Harvest, allowing her to use the enhanced version of her second skill, and Fated Strike 2, and cast Fated Strike 4 times. Fifth step, cast her enhanced first skill, Fated Strike, 3 times. After casting her second skill, your first skill will transform into its enhanced version, Fated Strike, which generates 35 Phantom Shade points per cast. Cast it 3 times to charge up her enhanced second skill. Sixth step, cast her enhanced second skill, Fated Strike 2. Once you have acquired the necessary Phantom Shade points, you can cast her enhanced second skill, Fated Strike 2. Seventh step, cast Fated Strike once. Since you can cast Fated Strike 4 times once her passive is activated, use the remaining one to deal additional damage to enemies. Final step. Repeat steps 1 to 7 and cast ultimate. After rotating your characters and charging up their ultimates, cue them to unleash heavy damage against multiple enemies over a wide area. Burst, State Combo. First initiate Ereshan's combo. Burst state, then use Fated Strike 5 times, then Unfathomable Area, and then again use Fated Strike 3 times, and Fated Strike 2 at last. Use Fated Strike again and switch character. The priority of this combo is to fill up the combo gauge and activate Ereshan's burst state, which automatically cast her second skill, Unfathomable Area. This allows you to quickly generate the necessary Phantom Shade points to complete her combo. That's it for Ereshan build and team guide, everyone. I hope you found it useful. Have a good day.